Welcome to our presentation today. So this is the second part of our demo about EDUCTOR technologies. So the first part dealt with mainly all the scientific concept, the foundation of our device. Here, what we will do, we will work specifically to show you some of the functionality of the device. So I go straight into the device. So one of the first thing that we need to do when we have a client is to record, the client in our system, and we ask a few questions about the lifestyle. It's important to remember, everyone, that our device has been designed to detect and reduce stress, and lifestyle is very important. And we have here an index here that tells us, what is the level of the lifestyle, the right, or not the right necessarily, but the best lifestyle for the person. So here 75, we would like the closest to 50. We are happy. Here we could say, well, what is it that person do is maybe take some coffee here, that type of thing. Okay, so we have also, we could do with the client, and you can just look at the situation of the client. What is it that they need or they want? They want to work on the endocrine. Is there any health problem in here? I could say, well, whatever, not degenerative, let's say I would say nerval for me. This is me today. And then I could say, well, okay, I will work on stress, MS, multiple sclerosis. We always want to make sure that the person, we always add the word stress so that the people do not believe or think that we are treating directly the disease, okay? So we close. Once we have this basic information, we close. And what we do is that we will have the calibration. The calibration is the moment where the device is connecting with the client through the harness. So we put the harness on, but before we always need to ask the two questions: if the person can be or have the possibility of being pregnant, or have electronic device like pacemaker. And then we click, and once we are clear about that, we click, and then usually I don't speak to the client. So what the system is doing, the system is just measuring or testing the client on 20 frequencies, like frequencies of distilled water, of sugar, and that type of thing, just to make sure that the system can have a baseline that will be useful for the rest of the test. And the system will adapt to the level of reactivity of the client. So it lasts 1.5 minutes. And then, so this is done. And I just want to show you here. 1 second. Do you want to close? I will say no. I just want to show you here that we have all the measure here. Okay. We will talk later on about those measures. I close, and now we have what we call the home use prescription. Those are, this is a program that allow us to send some frequencies on some specific predetermined topic that are, I would say the need for many clients. So we can ask what is interesting. We can ask the superconscious, what is it that the client need today? So today, this is me. This is circulation, stabilization, and addiction, maybe the coffee. So whatever, and then what we will do here, we'll just do the circulation here, okay? Because this is something important for me, and maybe I will take a flight, so that would be good. And then what we could do, we could activate and ask the system to send this information, these frequencies to some specific dimension. We know that Einstein said that there are at least 10 dimensions. So we can just click and then we activate, or we indicate to the system where to send. So I chose level 3 like randomly today. Okay, and then I will just start. I will just show you, and there will be a percentage. And if the percentage is low, we can add more. Usually we can do, at least, I can set up, for 90 minutes of therapies. I can choose whatever. I can set the time that I want. I could say 5 minutes for circulation, 5 minutes for anti-aging, and maybe 2 minutes on emotion or whatever, as long as that the total does not go above 90 minutes. So this is very much important because it will give me the state of this situation. Like for me, circulation is important today, as I said, and it might not be so good. And then if not, I will do more before my flight today. Okay, so this is really something interesting. And then we have many people who will do that, often. I will do it very often, just the basic stuff, so that I know that I have, I see for the percentage, and then I'm working on something specific. With the client, when we have 2 hours or 1 hour and a half, we don't have always the time. So this is why it's so interesting that we can, when we have the device. Here, 73%, it's not bad for today for me. Okay, so that is good. I will close, and then we will go here. Do you want to go to the ECG? This is a message for the people who own an EDUCTOR, the last generation. So what we do here is that the system will draw some graph and will provide me some information. Here I do about the EEG. So there will be a graph. So usually I should not speak. I should be quiet, and then there will be a real graph, but now I am doing this on myself. So, and then what is important is the I would say the result here. Look at that on the right. And then I could choose to see, to work on the emotions and things like that. So look at that: oxygenation, top and balance, theta wave detect. So this is really important. And then here, look at that. Usually the black is the left brain, and then the blue is the right brain, the right lobe. Okay, so we will not go again too much in this, but this is really something interesting to see right at the beginning. Before, we can do it after, and many people will do before and after just to see the difference. Because when I could see, that my brain is just like a little bit disorganized this morning, mainly when I'm speaking and at the same time doing the presentation. So what I could do this, and I could do all my session, and at the end, take a picture at the beginning, take a picture at the end, and see the improvement. So this is something very valuable, to show the before and after the session. Here we will look at the heart, and then what is important is that it will tell me if I am in mode sympathetic or sympathetic, or look at that frustration here, and it says that the sympathetic dominate here, and then the heartbeat is quite good, so I will not be so much nervous about that. Okay, so that is good. And then there is the EMG. We will not do it this morning because we do not have time, but this is all of the measure that we can do for our client to see. Always, we are not treating disease. We are just gathering some information so that we can have our session, going and have more information about our client. Now we will do the testing. So during the test, what is important, I can tell here what is it that I want to do with my client. I already wrote it. I could say the stress MS again, just to see, that this is what I said. I could write, I want to sleep better, I want to walk better, I want to do this better. Okay? And then we will do the testing. And what is nice, the test usually will last 4 minutes, and then I myself do not speak to the client. I like to leave the client alone. It's not an obligation, but this is what I like to do so that the client can be quiet, sitting, not talking, not cross the leg, not cross the hand. And then so here I will just, wondering, we have those 4 minutes, I can just give you some explanation about all those numbers and figures, because I said that the eductor is able to establish a baseline of the state of health, of some parameter of health. So here we have the voltage 73. We want the voltage between 80 and 100. So this represents the adrenal, the strength of the will, and things like that. The A here, 94, again, we want all those numbers between 80 and 100. The A represents the mental, the neurotransmitter, serotonin, melatonin, and things like that. So it might be here a little bit high, too high for somebody at my age. So I would be concerned about inflammation in the brain. Our resistance is mainly the flow of the energy in the body, H, hydration, or oxygenation. Those are very much interesting. What I like is the cellular vitality out of 10. So there are numbers here. The phase angle is the capacity of the cell to reproduce, to replicate. Here are some measures about the pH, acidity, and the flow of the electron in the body. Here is a level of the resonant frequency pattern. It then gave me some indication about stress about the person. And here this number gave me some indication about the immune system, the reactivity of the immune system. So those are numbers. I don't want you to understand that all of those numbers. I just want to show you that there are numbers that right after the calibration could give me so much interesting information. So now what we have the test where we'll go and see the result. But first, the system is just creating what we call the biofeedback. That's some indication when here. So 1 second. So this is the big. Okay, the biofeedback interface graphic here. So what I could do, I could just ask, this is mainly biofeedback. So we know that the biofeedback will show graph and everything. We have plenty of program here. This is not what I want to show today. What I could do is just click the device validation. And this thing, it will start measuring things. So you can see how it will measure everything about emotional, about the risk, about everything. And it can give me, I can always come and refer back to those things, this graph, and see what is happening. There are many other things that is important about, and then about the balance of the right and the left, there's some vibrational movies that we have. There are plenty of things. So, but this is an extra module. This is not the main module. So I want to bring you into the main module. And here, look at that. I have right away an indication what I could do for that client today. Developmental healing. So that would be something to focus today. So here, what I have the matrix, what we call the matrix. Those lines, you see number of, all those frequencies, those lines. A line is a frequency of some, I would say it could be the frequency of some positive sarcode or organ, or disease tissue. It could be the frequency of some homeopathic remedies, or Ayurvedic remedies, Chinese remedies, all of those things. So there are more than 10,800 of those lines, okay? And what I would like is that I would like to show you how this is recorded in the system, because this is what I believe is so important. Let's see here, I find lead in the blood. Okay, this is something. Okay, so what I could do just to show you how this is recorded. Okay, because it is important that you know how much. It's just not a line. There is so much thing behind. So what I could do, I can go and see the graph. And for each line, there is a matrix of 22 by 22 by 22. And then it will show me here, we look at that, this is a graph. So each line have this type of graph, three-dimensional graph. Three-dimensional. So this is really something interesting. So I just want to show you this so that you know that each line, this is the type of information that is behind that. And then what I would like to tell here right at the beginning, I can ask the system, what is it that the client need, or what the superconsciousness, what it says to me? It says here to me that this client would need something for the physical today. I take those numbers. In fact, the system here today can work and give frequencies that will help the environmental life of this client, physical, mental, social, spiritual, emotional. So I choose the highest one, let's say, and then it says the physical. So this is what the client kind of react the most, means that this is what the client wants. So today I would have an indication that the client needs some frequencies to have the physical body. And in here, this red band indicates to me all the frequencies, the homeopathic signature that the client has react to. So there are plenty, and this is good. When there are plenty, that means, well, the body just is telling me what it wants. So I just need to just have a look at that. So the red is all the product out of the 11,800. Those are the product or frequencies that the client need. And then I have the violet here. It's the client want them, but a little bit less. And then the yellow, the client want them, but a little bit less. And the blue, let's say, it is like more normal. Okay, so my concern would be with all the red, the violet, and the yellow. And in here on the right, what do I have here? I have all kind of subcategories that I could look. I could look at the amino acids, the chromosome, and then always I will look at what is yellow, violet, and red. I can look at the hormone. I can look at the minerals. I can look at the bacteria. I can look at plenty of things, the cranial bone. I can look at some guna remedies, some type of remedies. So plenty of information. Flowers and back flower, for those who like back flowers, look at that. I'm reacting to this melancholia. So it's always, you need to understand that you will find even, in the matrix, you will find all the possible disease. So what is important is that if somebody reacts to, let's say, cancer, lung cancer, it's for the practitioner, that means stress to the lung. Okay, so this is really something interesting. And then the system will tell me right at the beginning what is it that the client would like. So what I do, so here there is an indication of some anger. So, okay, energetically, there is always something to improve every day. If we would just be 100, everything would be 100% perfect, well, we will not be on this planet, I believe. Okay, so what is it that the system tell me? That the cause could be the lack of exercise, and the possible organ here is the lungs, oh la la, the lungs. Okay, and then some blockage, and then it will tell me some indication, and then it will tell me the metabolic organ here. So I have this, and if I want more information, I can just click, and it will give me more information, and it will say, look at the emotion, look at the stomach, and I can click, and then look at the blood, look at, so it will give me all kind of information. And I have some affirmation here that I can use, I can tell the client, and there is more information about diagnosis. They tell me nerval disease here, okay, muscle tension, psychology. So those are all things that, could be useful, are useful for the client and the practitioner. Okay, so how do we do that now? We're starting with that. The first thing would be to prepare the organs of the client. The client might not be used to work with those type of frequencies. So what I could do, I could start at least to prepare the lymph. I like to prepare the lymph, and then we can prepare the kidneys, the lung for today, because there was many indication about the lung. And then, so it's just preparation here. It will just be like maybe 7 seconds, 10 seconds. And look at that, it tell me, give me here on the bottom left, the percentage. So I'm happy with 78. I like 80, more than 80, but let's say that today we are happy about that. And then we will just go and see for sure the lung, because there was many indication about the lung. So we will just, and again we will see a percentage. Well, 96, that is not bad, so that is reactive. And I like to work on the small intestine. I can go and work on the brain. I will just look on the brain, because we always like to look on the brain. And then so this is just a step of preparation, okay? Then, okay, look at that, 23%. This is not so good today. And then probably because I'm talking at the same time and everything. So this is something that I would work very closely on this. And then, so what is the next is to go, and then we can just go and see the risk profile. Risk profile will give me some indication on the potential risk for that client today. And then I can just go and do a chart here, and it will tell me bacteria, and then hypoadrenia, and then some neurological. I look at the peak, the highest peak and the bottom peak. The bottom will be more chronic, and here the chronic is neurological. So this is something that I know, but it is interesting because now I could do therapies and to work on that, okay? And then what I could do now, by number, I can work and all the red are the one that the client want to, that we work on that. Usually the yellow, not the yellow, the blue here, sorry. The blue here, usually it's like if the client say, well, this is not what I want to work. But understand that when the client or the superconscious say kind of a, no, this is low reactivity, usually it's because the problem is probably there. But I always like to work with what the client tell me, okay? And in here we have inherited, so I like that. I could just go and say, well, what is this? And then I would just go, okay? And then now we do, so what I'm doing here is that I am going into what we call the virtual doctor. So it's like if we will go deeper in this risk to see what is it that can be or have this frequency of problem coming probably from the DNA. Okay, so it will tell me here that I should look at some toxin, and then because of the aging, there is a little bit of a stress there, and then the client tell me here 100% that it's like this risk, want to work on this, and impulsive, and then we have all kind of indication, but the main thing is that the most stress organ for that is the liver and the sinus, okay? So this is something interesting to know. And what I could do and can work on the treat all on the panel, I will not do, I have plenty of here of sub-program that can go and look in the spine, relate to this risk. I can do the DNA, I can look at the emotion, I can look at the acupuncture, the blood, everything, nutrition. What I will do today is work on the homotoxicology. Homotoxicology that will show to me what is happening with the client today. So here I don't like that. This homotoxicology has been developed by Rekweg, a German, and he said that, disease will always develop in some, by phase, okay? And then first, the system will be able to excrete its toxin. If it cannot, there will be inflammation. And if inflammation does not destroy the toxin, what it will do, the system will just deposit those toxins in the tissue. That will create some empiric bad cell, and then degeneration, and then cancer. So I really do not like that today. what is it that I will right away would do and suggest some detox. And this is what is important for me today. I would just want to have this in here, the first one. And in here, what I can see, we have plenty of information here, but this is not what I want to discuss. I don't want to go too much in the technical, but here I have some indication about the bioterrain of the person, about those little circles that will tell me about the inflammation and the pH and everything. So we have some indication here, and then I have all the xenobiotics, all the toxin, the vulnerability to the toxin. So I do not like the numbers that are above 100 and below 60 here. And here I can look at some miasm, which are some weaknesses coming from the ancestors. And as I chose inherited as risk, there is more information here, and it tells me what it is. And then leprosy, and then all those miasms are vulnerabilities that we inherited from our ancestors, that are probably in our DNA. Okay, so this is something that we can just treat. We have the top 5 here, and we can treat. Okay, I will not do it because it takes some time, but you see how it works. And then I can come and look at all the organs. I just do this really the surface, because we do not want to go too deep in this program, although it's just wonderful, all this information that we have on these panels. Here I will just want to show the Sacco chart, and it is all the chart of the related. It shows all the information about the chakras, the immune system, the endocrine system, and the digestive system. So in here there is adrenal, and then there is digestion. So somewhere there is some difficulty here. And then we look at all the peak below. Here is the salva gland and the lung. The lung came out many times here. And I have the therapies here that I can just do therapies, to harmonize all of this. And then I can just ask the superconscious, what is it that the person I should work on? Here it tells me harmonize the tonsil. And then I can look at the emotion, and then I can just ask the superconscious, what is it that I should do with this client? And right away the system tell me. And I can go into those therapy here, and then I can do what we call time therapy. Means then I can set the time, and then I can harmonize, the circulation, the brain, the lymph, the lung, the kidneys, everything, And then I can set the time, and then I can go to 40 minutes. And if I want longer, I can check, here for the long term, and then it will last until I myself stop it. So this is really what is important, and I do a lot of this, and I will need to do more on the lung here for sure. Okay, so we close, and we have plenty of therapies here. We have therapies about the spinal. We have, about the muscle, the nerve, the limb, the bone, circulation. I will just show you a little bit about the circulation, what we could do. I want to do the circulation in the head, because, when I saw before, I work on the brain, and then that was like, it was so low, so I could work on the circulation on the head here. I can look at the digestion to make sure that digestion is working properly, and then I can look at also the neuroemotional in the spine. It is so important, and this is so nice for the people who are doing chiropractor or any manipulation on the body, because we always need to remove the emotion before we work on the body. Okay, it's a lot more easier. And in here, what I could do, I can just come and do the NLP, where are all the emotional therapies that we have. We can do again. We can just draw some graph on about all the emotion. We have more than 74 signature of emotion. Like here is the greed, the submissive, and then we always look at what is high, what is the peak, and also we have always a therapy here. And we have the neurotransmitter, which are so basic, necessary for the stabilization of the emotion. And we can do again some therapies here, close. And then what I can work on, and this is what is the most useful for all those who are interested in emotion. Here I can look at all, what are the conflicts that the client is or want to let go today. So it's not necessarily the most important, but we could just do that. And then it goes from the wound to the, and then go to all the age. I just put my age here, 68, and then it could just go and tell. So I will not do it because this is private, and this is not what we do like a demo like this. But this is really something interesting. I can look at also the disease path. Oh, I wrote it. I clicked the button. I made a mistake. So it is not so much a problem. We just stop. So after 1.5 minutes, the system tells me a lot of information about that person. I did not name the disease type. It just tells me globally, well, those are all the age where there was some reactivity. So that means that there are some problem, and it will tell me what it is. Trauma, karmic, will tell me here it's related to the father and everything. So this is just exciting. And then what I can do, I can just say association with the spine to tell me where is in the spine. So it's not this one that I should do. It's not through this panel that I need to get this information. And then I can do the association in the homotoxicology that will tell me in which organ we have this stress, and I can just work on those. So this is really, really, really so deep and so interesting, and it is like onion peel. Today this is it, tomorrow it's something else. And I can look at the love index and the frustration index. I look at all the neuropeptide, and in here I have a list of all emotional therapies that I can do. I can even ask the unconscious mind what it is that person needs. And I have plenty others, like in here, I can always ask the unconscious mind, what is it that the person needs? And here it's about injury. And injury, we're also including emotion. I will show you how all of this is working. Like in here is the heart stabilization. So the heart stabilization, I will do it. And then I can just do the start. And you will see here, the emotion that is related to this heart problem. So, and then what it is that here I have a rectification, and the number will go up to 100. And then I can just follow up, all the emotions that are related to this, here, the program that I chose, okay? This is the heart, and here is greed. So you understand the thing. So I just stopped because we don't have time to do all of this. And we have plenty about the program. Here, the superpowers to try to develop better the brain. We have full of stimulation about the chakra, the solfeggio, which are specific sound, and then all those alpha, beta, delta. And then here we have the magic window that will help us to connect with other dimension, with time travel and things like that. So this is really, really, really powerful program and panel. So this is so interesting. And what I like is the most is all the neuropeptide. Neuropeptides are so important. Many people will be in depression because they don't have enough neurotransmitter and all those neuropeptide, the biochemistry of the brain, in fact. So, and then we can look at here the nutrition profile, and then I can look at this nutrition profile, and then I will have all the information about vitamins, vitamin B, D. So it is, everything is in there. What I like mainly is to look at the digestion of protein, the digestion of the fat, the carbohydrate, and the general digestion here. And here, I do not like what is less than 60, above 100. So this is quite good in the small intestine here. So, you know, we have all the information to give to you when it's time to learn how to interpret. But what I want to show you today is that all the information we have, and then all those internal enzymes here, it's about the DNA. And it is interesting because we were talking about the inherited. So today, that is what is important. And we have stress and cortisol. We have all the hormones related to stress. So we don't like what is above 100 and below 60 here. And also I would have question about all the female hormone. Okay, so this is also something that is important. And then we have this information. Okay, and we have here plenty of program to harmonize the enzyme, the hormone, and we can do a program that will stabilize all the nutrition, all the enzyme, all the hormone. So this is really something that is interesting. Mainly at the end of a session, this is what I like to do. We do not have time often to look at all the specifically on each of the nutrition, enzyme, hormone. But this program, you know, is very interesting. And again, it will tell me the emotion here. And in here, what I can do, I will not do it necessarily at the beginning. We can set the second wave generator because we know that the eductor has this functionality of having 3 wave generator. So here it will tell me that the system need some delta frequencies. So this is something probably right, because over the last few days, because I'm living in India, you know, things are just rushing a bit. Okay, so we can just again have the rectification until 100 here. So I end, and then I close. And what I would like to show to you is some of the therapies, you know, that will really have an effect on all those measures that we had. Okay, so this is mainly all those therapies. This is a therapy panel, and we have the meridian therapy, the scalar therapies. The scalar I will show you work on the gland and on the chakras. Okay, here we have some therapies about the meridian. Look at all the meridian, and then I can look here at the acupuncture where I can see the 5 elements of the Chinese medicine all along. So this is not so good today. So I will have to do my session before I ever travel today. Okay, so this is really something interesting. And we have all kind of other therapies about, as I said, trivector, really just to improve all the electrical body. We have also some therapies about the autonomic nervous system. We have about the brainwave. So here, in fact, the system will tell me, and we can work on the vagus nerve, the sympathetic system, and the parasympathetic. And the system will tell me what is it that is reactive today. Okay, and then I can work on these each part. I can work on the brain wave here, and then it will tell me all the brain wave that need to be balanced, and mainly some of the challenge, you know, some perturbation in the brain. And I can look specifically on some brain part of the brain here. I can look on, let's say I look on the limbic, I click, and then I will have rectification. So what is important is that I just want you to understand. Look at that, 41. This is not what we like. We will just do it again. Okay, so it is really like in the moment, at the moment now. This is what is happening. Okay, you say okay. So it's not, you know, necessarily in the long term. And in here we have some program for the anti-aging. So the anti-aging we do, and then in here, look at that. this is not so good, 84. So there is some problem today. And I know because in fact I did not have the full night because I'm leaving today and doing all those programs. So, but that is a good indication. So I would need to do something like this to just remove and just get this down and understand. And then, you know, I can do just therapy, and then whoops, it will just go down. So the idea is just to retrain the body to say, well, okay, you did not sleep, but hey, you need to, you need to, let's say, continue working properly. The body is intelligent, but if there is too much stress, the body just cannot keep. Okay, and so this is like an indication, and this is what is nice. It's an indication. Jacqueline, if you don't do something more to solve this, you will really become old, and your body will eventually, will eventually have problem. Here I want to show you this autonomic nervous system because we are, I would say, working always on stress, and this is important. What I will do, I will just do that because I want to show you that during that time, so the system will look at the autonomic nervous system here, and we will activate the body viewer. So now we have some other module where we can just work on some very, very wonderful program. It could be about all the organs, any organ. I could say, let's say the brain, and then I can just say, look, let's look at the brain, and it will work on the brain. I could choose a chakra. I can just go with the heart chakra. I can load, the acupuncture. I can look at the lymph. So, and then I can look at the spinal if I want, and then I have all the vertebrae that I could look at, and I could say, well, let's look on the C1, and all psychological therapies, and then the aura. We like to work on the aura here, and then some therapies about what we call the autofocus, mean some therapies that will be working on something specific, inflammation, general health, DNA. I will look on the DNA here. So you understand what it is so interesting, because we can work in various modules in parallel. And then here it tells me, Jacqueline, the sympathetic is out of balance, the immune system, and the system of association. And those are very much interesting to indications. So this is what I need to do. I cannot just say, well, if today I digest food, I eat. If I am in sympathetic mode, I will not assimilate the food. Okay, I will not produce the neurotransmitter that I am supposed to do, and this is why then the indication is, so high, in your in the aging, okay, the anti-aging. So this is really something that is interesting. So yes, I would like also to show to you. I need to tell you, we have this time therapy super learning. So here I can just ask, make a quick check of the brain, and it will make a quick check of the brain. And during that time, I can go and see another module that is working on something specific. Again, I can work on the brain here, and this will be in parallel. I can work on the, let's say the lymph, whatever, or the digestion, okay? I can just look, and we have and activate all those programs. Iridology, iridology. I could look on the lymph. I could look at hear something about anxiety or something like that. On the anatomy, I can just come and just do an auto search. It will tell me here, oops, the eyes. I can look at something else, the sinus here, the esophagus. I can just ask, what is it that the system wants? And then I can just activate it, okay? And then there is so many things, okay? So this is just to say, so on my taskbar, I have my program, my main program. I have this program working on the DNA. I can have it here on working on my spine. And I have this program here that, whoops, I have one indication here. So it is working. And then those emotion, bacteria, and all the information. So this is like fully, we have plenty of information. You might think it's too much information. It's not too much. The way I teach is I will tell you how to do this, not to be in too much of to have too much of information, because then it might be difficult. So there is a way to just go and capture what it is that we need for today. And then here we could look at the brain. And what I do not like is when there is a big gap in between here. And this is mainly in the parietal. And the parietal, we know that it is related to acetylcholine and related to this multiple sclerosis, okay? So today I would have to work on the many program for the brain. And I could do also for those who are involved in and learning, the children, we have plenty of a nice program to improve the math skill, memory skill, language skill, and everything. And we have also many other therapies, and mainly there will be therapies here about degeneration. So I will not do that. Degeneration, like multiple sclerosis, is a degenerative disease, cancer, all of those things. So we have plenty of program here. I can work on the sport, coordination, oxygenation, and everything. This is just beautiful, and we always have a percentage of what is repaired, okay? And then we have, what do we have here? We have, I would say, for those who like the organ, we have a program where we can send, information in the room to improve and set, the environment so that there will be more of a healing environment. And we can send this information 1,000 meters, or I have some procedure where I can send this information to at distance, okay? So this is also something interesting. And then what I would like also to show you is mainly for the blood. We have beautiful program for the blood, and mainly it's related to the system of the dark field theory that has been developed by Enderlein, the German. And I can ask here, what is the superconscious need for the blood? And then I have a picture here. So what is important is that Enderlein base his I would say his program and all his theory based on Béchamp, the fact that this is not the virus that is important or the bacteria, it is the bioterrain. So here, he will state, what is the state of the bioterrain, and he will tell, how there will be some microorganisms in the body that are okay if the bioterrain is okay, and if the bioterrain become acidic, then those will become negative, let's say. So this is what we know, in this panel, how to work with the brain. We have plenty of therapies with the brain here. Blood toxicity, the bone marrow, the anemia, and everything. We have plenty of those things. We have some other based on Gastonescent, which is working also in the same, I would say, same vision than Béchamp and Enderlein, and he will talk about the proteid, okay? Not the proteid, sorry, I am so sorry. Somatid. Oh, I hope I have the right word. I am... the somatid. Yes, I'm not so sure the word. I am so sorry. It doesn't come in my mind now. Okay, and then but you have the name here. You could look at his program on the internet. It's just wonderful. We have some information. We can work on that, and then We can just ask, what is the superconscious, what the superconscious want to do today, and then it say, well, okay, look at that thing here, and then I will look and it will tell me what it is, what it needs. Appropriate treatment of pharmaceutical. No, I don't take pharmaceutical. The thing is that what is important is that as I said, I am not in the right condition to do a session to myself like this at the same time talking, so I should be careful about what I see today. And then also, when we talk about pharmaceutical, and if I do not take pharmaceutical, it can be that there is pharmaceutical in the water. It could be if people eat meat. It could be in the meat and everything. So everything is there, okay? And we have plenty of information here about how to balance the immune system. We can work on the immune system and through the blood, okay? And then again, we have the emotion here. And we always have, the percentage of rectification. And we can close that. And then I can work on the stem cell. So this is a very, very, very great. And we have 2-3 nice procedure on stem cell. I don't have time to show all of them. But this is something here, right? Easy, where I can do this program and help the body to create its own stem cell, because it's clear that we can develop and intensify our capacity to develop our own stem cell. So this is like the program. Once again, we have one more thing that I really want you to know, and this is the program of the real time. So what is happening is that we can work in something in the real time. So what I will do here, I will do the real-time chakra scan. So the system will tell me in the moment, what is it, and it will show to me what is it that it is working on today. So I will just do this, and then we just go to real time. Sorry, I did not do the right thing. One second, I will just do. Now it works properly. So I just, oops, look, it doesn't show, it does not stay longer. I guess it's because of me, who is connected on the harness. And then working, but what the key, what it is that it is working here, and then when I come in this program can tell me on which chakra I'm working today, or the one that is more reactive. So today this one is the stomach. Okay, so it doesn't stay long. I guess it is because of me, myself. Okay, so we need to be in a position where it's not a demo like it is happening today. So this is something that is interesting. And then we will just do so now we will just do what we call the end with the aura. So what I like to do is the aura. So just to finalize, what it is that we need. We have also some nice program that I want to show about beauty and anti-aging. And we have plenty of information here. And we can, we can do the aura, okay? And then I will just do the aura here. So we can do scan all, and then it will scan the body. And then give me some information, and what I will find in the final, I will tell you is that we can activate another module, which is the disease dictionary. So let's finish with this one, and then during that time I can just go and then I can set something else and just say, okay, let's look on the acupuncture, and then I will just go on the ancestral, the ancestral meridian. The designer of this program said more than the 12 meridian, okay? So this is something that we can work on. And in here, the system will tell me where are the leaking of the energy from the aura and the chakra. So I can work on this and then treat all those or try to remove all those leaking, you know, of the aura, some stress in the aura. Okay, so this is something that we can do, and it is always nice. We can retest the aura. And also what I would like to show to you is this disease dictionary, because disease dictionary is very much interesting, and mainly for the people who are doctors, but for us also. So I could just ask, you know, what is it that the person, the client has. I always like to look at stress. This is, according to me, one of the main things that I like to do. And then we can just go and work on stress. I have looked at that. All the, as I said, all the diseases are here. And then I can look to minute program, and I can do it like this. And it will be working during at the same time, so in parallel. So this is mainly what I wanted to talk to you today about our device. What also I would like is to show to you, to give to you some of the benefits for the doctor or therapist who will use our device. So first we have some program training and support. What is important? You might say, well, this seems complicated to learn. It is not complicated because the training is really made in a way so that it's easy for you to learn. And then we become quickly independent. We can quickly set up an independent practice. There is a multitude of energy-free therapies, so we can expand our practice. It's suitable for all level of user, beginners or advanced, or experienced people or not beginner. This is always the test allow an objective evaluation that is independent from the practitioner. It is simple, what we are doing it because it is it's a holistic medical clinic, portable holistic medical clinic. So everything is in one device. We have various protocol and easy application, wide variety of computer-assisted therapies, opportunity to expand our range of service. There is some function of artificial intelligence with the subspace and virtual training. There is, we can have a confirmation of the frequency signature that the person needs. There is result on site. We do not have to wait for blood tests or any other type of tests. At least we have some indication right away. It facilitates the work of the practitioner. There is an affordable price. The software is always improving. And then it is in line with the new scientific discoveries. This is really something important. And then we can have the, tracking of the improvement of the customer, in real time. And it is the ideal tool to support integrative medicine. So I hope it has been useful for you. And then, so here again, all my details. If ever you're interested in to know more about our device, you're welcome to contact me by email, by WhatsApp, by phone. And we have our YouTube channel where we have many demo videos. So thank you so much, and hope to see you as a practitioner of EDUCTOR.